What's up, everybody? It's Johnny Bronto, and it is Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You are where you should be, watching America's favorite haunted attractions travel show on Thursday, HauntScene Live. And with me, as always, my beautiful... Damn it. Okay, so I'm by myself today, and, I'm by myself in the studio, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here, but I do have to remind everybody that Maximus Christian Bryant is awesome. Just got to put that out there. And today, a very special episode that was just kind of put together is going to be the Oh, the Horror. Oh, the Horror. Oh, look at it. There we go. Oh, the Horror. And we're going to talk to the whole crew. I'm really excited about this. I got a chance to do a play test a little while ago, and it's super duper fun. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on the crew here. And I will make sure that I unmute them. And wow, you're unmuted. Awesome.
Hey, hello.
So let's do some introductions. We'll do Nate first because he's on screen right now. Nate Stevenson, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, how you fit into this whole thing.
All right. So my name's Nate Stevenson, and I've been directing and writing mostly horror, but directing and writing professionally for about 15 years. I did Universal Halloween Horror Nights for about 5 or 6 years with Patrick Braillard there. And recently we wrote a horror game that we're pretty excited about. That's what we're here to talk about.
Nice. And go ahead and Patrick. Patrick's next.
I'm next. Awesome. Hey, everybody. It's Patrick Braillard. So as Nate said, spent the last 15 years at Universal Orlando creating Halloween Horror Nights and things to go bump in the night, and came to that as an actor and a director in theater, and then have since returned to those roots. And also this year I'm the head creative writer for Scream and Stream, as well as one of the co-creators for Oh, the Horror. So lots going on this afternoon.
Yeah, so we'll actually be having Patrick back on the show when it comes to time to talk about the Scream and Stream. A lot of changes. I hear all kinds of crazy stuff, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, man, we got some really exciting stuff coming up, and if for any more information, check out their social channels. They're it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And finally, we got Jacob on here. Jacob is the artist. He's the talent.
That's me. Can you see me on there? Okay. Hey, what's going on, guys?
Duck down in your standing desk. Rule of thirds there, buddy.
There we go. Hey, I'm Jacob McAllister. I am the third part to this team. That's actually kind of how the order went. Nate came up with the game and then brought Patrick on, and then they brought me on to draw it. I worked for Universal for 10 or 11 years, started out as an actor and then moved over to art and design, working with these guys at Halloween Horror Nights, and then moved to creative for a while. And then we all got the boot. Thank you, COVID. And now we're been working on this game for the last 6 months. It has completely consumed our lives.
In a very, very good way.
No, in the best way. Absolutely awesome. The best way.
So, any of you can tell this story. Because I know we've done a previous episode. I actually looked back, and it was back in December of last year, which is crazy. I was I was looking back. I'm I know we just did a show a couple months ago, and it was all the way back in December 10th of 2020, which is insane. But just a quick recap of the history of the game, how you guys came up with the concept, all that stuff, and then we're gonna get into the game itself here after that.
I've loved gaming forever since I was a kid, and also been a big horror fan since I was a child. My dad used to come home and go. I bought a creepy old movie for the family, and my mom would always go, "Oh, Ken," and freak out, But it was the only movies that were like rated R that we were allowed to watch. That was pretty cool. But anyway, I had a love for horror at a young age, and I just always loved gaming. And I kind of wanted to mesh the two, and I had a baseline idea for something like that, like a card game that would be not creepy horror, but would be like fun party game kind of horror. And I pitched it to Patrick, and we started working on the idea. And then, and like Jacob said, we brought him on pretty early on to start doing the art, and it grew into Oh the Horror and what Oh the Horror is today. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. Now I'm going to do a question for all of you. Did you have a favorite game growing up?
You guys want to start?
Patrick.
Whoever wants.
Jacob.
I gotta think about it.
Yeah,
Nate, I'm sure Nate knows it.
there's so many there's so many board games that you play, and I absolutely loved Risk growing up.
Australia.
Yeah, dude, that's where it's at. I'm telling you.
You gotta take Australia and then build out. That's the only way to win that game.
You gotta take New Guinea, or you gotta take North America and then just pray you have high rolls.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Risk was a big thing in our house. And I'll tell you what, one of the things that solidified card games for me is my grandmother was an avid card junkie. So if we went over to her house like every single Sunday, and it was basically, if you weren't playing poker, you were playing cribbage, and if you weren't playing cribbage, you were playing Uno, and if you weren't playing Uno, you were playing 99. So we became very, very good at playing those games, but also it was a matter of what game are we going to play this week when we go over. And one of the things that ended up bleeding itself into, I think, Oh the Horror is our natural predilection to not caring about house rules, or at least loving the fact that people can come up with house rules and we're not above them doing so to our game as well. Because I can remember with my grandmother's house having 6 decks of Uno stacked on top of each other, and that's the base deck that you played from. And we played the draw 2 on top of draw 2 on top of draw 2 rule.
Wow.
And I can remember cousins of mine getting slapped with like a plus 18 and just having to deal with it. So that... Yeah, it wasn't my fault, man. There were 5 other people at the table. But yes, absolutely, Jacob, a jerk, totally.
I'll go. I can't work this into like how it fits in now, but my absolute favorite game when I was a kid was Mousetrap. I love that game. I don't even remember how to play it. I just remember that there was this huge setup. And I would love to watch, like, when I just love to get to the end of the game when somebody would get there, and then you'd set the thing off and you would watch this ball go down and like finally trap the mouse. And I loved that game. I would play the game with my brothers and with family sometimes, but a lot of times I would just set it up and play with the game, like as a toy almost. But I love that game. That was my favorite growing up.
Nice. And before Jacob goes, if you have a favorite game and you're watching at home, put that in the comments. Put that in the comments so we can get some more examples here. But Jacob, what was your favorite game?
So it's not a simple answer.
Okay.
Because there was no one game that I played like all through my childhood, and it's kind of like music where one game will kind of define that section of your life, you know? So like early on, the earliest games that I can remember really loving are Mousetrap as well, and Fireball Island.
Oh my god!
Because I loved
Island.
I loved any game that had like a setup that had something like that in it, that like had that extra little bit more than just a board. And I remember that. And then it moved to Monopoly. That was the only game. Monopoly and Sorry were the only games I ever played with my family. And then when I started working at Disney, this is a jump like 20 years in the future, we would play Bananagrams at the stage like every day. This is like pre-iPhone, or like the beginning of iPhone, before like it ruined social interactions. Like everyone would sit down and play Bananagrams. And then it moved to there's a card game called Gloom, and that is probably my aside from Oh, the horror, of course. Gloom is probably my favorite card game.
Nice.
Cool. You guys, I just thought of something. There was this game I loved as a kid, and you had like 4 little guys, and you could build a little castle, and you could build your castle however you wanted. And they had catapults, and they had it was
crossbows and catapults.
Yes.
Yes.
Dude, I loved that game, playing that game. And
That's awesome.
And you could smash each other. Me and my brothers played that console. That was another one. Crossbows and catapults. I'd play that now, actually. That was a good game. Yeah.
Nice.
You had to build up your castle, and then like you could try to smash it down with your crossbows and catapults.
I know what I'm getting Nate for Christmas.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Please do.
My favorite game growing up was you guys ever heard of Stratego?
Stratego.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome, man.
That was a
Fun
great
to
game,
play,
yeah.
hard to say.
Yeah. But that was my fun. Other than obviously when I was a Dungeons and Dragons nerd, but that's fine. I mean, it was just
trying to teach that to my son, but I don't understand it enough to do it.
Wow, awesome.
It's really just like role playing, right? I mean, it's a role playing game, Dungeons and Dragons.
It was.
Well,
I just like being in like a character. Like I was just like dice. I don't need dice. I just want to talk.
Yeah. It's just like playing. It's like playing on steroids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get to actually be the character.
It's funny with Dungeons and Dragons because I had a cursory time with it from like 9 to 14-ish, like the sweet spot. And I remember the first time that I went over to my friend Chris's house, and his brother Sean was a DM, and he was showing me just to try to like hook me, obviously. But he showed me this maze that he had created on the graph paper, and he had meted it all out, and he had built traps and everything. And let me tell you something. Let me like putting my brain on fire. I immediately went like, "Whoa, wait a minute, hold on! You can create any maze you want. You can build any attraction you want." Yeah, that's probably why I ended up doing what I did.
Nice.
When I was in 8th grade, we spent not 8th grade, 7th grade. We spent the entire year not playing D&D, but building sheets, like character sheets, and drawing maps and mazes and dungeons. We never played. We just had like this folder, me and 3 other friends, of like, we're like, this is going to be the ultimate game, and never played it. But that was the fun part, was like, I mean, that's why I love this so much, because we just created. I just love to create.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about the game a little bit. So I've got the website queued up here, which is right here. And there we go. So I'm on ohthehorrorgame.com. So pretty straightforward, ohthehorrorgame.com. And I've got the page here, and you can go in, you can pre-order. It's up for pre-order. You can actually get your copy right now. I've already pre-ordered because I supported your Kickstarter because I'm a good friend. But you can go in and pre-order it. Definitely follow them on social media. If you want to get a preview of the game, you can go to ohthehorrorgame.com. You can hit the gameplay, and it will actually walk you through. I was lucky enough to be invited to a playtest, and I don't remember what that was, like a month or 2 ago. But it's everything that's fun about like a Cards Against Humanity, but it's way more dynamic to keep it really interesting. And I've never really had a game where I've only played like 1 session or 2 sessions, and I just can't wait to play it again. And not only can I wait to play it again, I can't wait to share it with other people. Like I could totally see this be a big drinking thing. Some drinking games will definitely be invented, but definitely go to ohthehorrorgame.com, look at everything, look at all the things here. All of the killer cards and everything have an awesome personality. It's pretty darn awesome. So why don't one of you, if you would, just give a very quick rundown of a basic hand, like the sequence of events of playing the hand, and then the end goal of the game.
Sure. You want to do that, Patrick?
Yeah, I'll take it. Okay. So how it starts is that somebody has to be the death dealer to start the game. And the death dealer for our game is the oldest person in the room. They're closest to the grave. So therefore they get to go because we don't know how soon their time's going to run out and they won't get to play anymore. So they get to take a card from the red deck, which is the killer deck, and they'll flip that over face up. And then they'll flip over a card from the blue deck, which is the victim deck. So basically fate has picked the killer and the victim. Now, all of the other players on the table, including the death dealer, before anything has been played, have been given 7 black cards. They keep them to themselves because they are going to play them in competition against everybody else around the table. So after the killer and the victim have been basically set up, teed up, and put in a room together, the people around the rest of the table get to decide how those people finish their story, how the killer offs the victim in any number of different, well, we know how many different, 200 different gruesome and disgusting and fabulous ways. So then everybody takes a card, the card that they select from the various different methods that they've got in their hand, and they place them face down into a small pile, and the death dealer will shuffle them up quickly and then will show them and read them out loud to the entire group, and then select which method they choose for that particular killer or victim. As soon as the winner is declared, the winner will then take the victim card and put it into what is now their body count. And so the group will decide how many bodies will end up winning the game, and they'll decide before they start to play. Otherwise, there's going to be fist fights. Or and by doing that, the game will then continue. We have, however, thrown in plot twist cards, much like death itself. There's guardian angel cards, and then there's also actual plot twists to the game. So the death itself card, if it's pulled up from a killer, because death picks for itself, everybody will draw 1 random card from the top of the black deck, and that will be the game card that they play. A guardian angel card will allow the victim to be pulled away from the victim and be handed to whoever plays the guardian angel card. So they can basically, if they don't win that hand, they can throw a guardian angel card down and steal the victim away from that round. They can't steal the game. That's against the rules. And also, if 2 people throw down the guardian angel card, it's the first one to hit the table that wins. The plot twists are also where it gets interesting, because the plot twists can actually steal victims from people. They can force the death dealer to lose a victim. They can force everybody to lose a victim. They'll help you exchange cards. You'll never know when they show up. And that's, I think, what makes them extra juicy. But also, I think that what's great about Oh, the Horror is because the game is so substantial with 400 cards, there is a near limitless amount of possibilities to how the gameplay can actually take place. And I think that that's one of the things that I think people are going to enjoy most about rummaging through the deck and looking at these insane characters that Jacob has drawn and all the funny stuff that Nate and I have tried to put in. So I personally believe that the gameplay is fast, and it time flies by also while you're playing.
It's so easy to pick up and just play. Like, you at 1 round, you're good, and it's just so dynamic, because when you go to pick your cause of death, sometimes you might do that based on the killer, like how he would kill somebody or how they would kill somebody. Sometimes you pick the death based on the victim, and the victims and the killers are just completely quirky, and all of you are completely demented because you've got some crazy stuff in there. I gotta show this image real quick, because this was my little thing. When I did go to the playtest, I was the first person to pull Kevin Smith.
Yeah, man.
So your first celebrity tie-in. So that was really, really cool. And I forget, what did we do with that? BF. Oh yeah. That, I can't say that on my show, but yeah, you can read it right there. But that was really, really fun, and I cannot wait to play again. It was just a really, really good time.
Do you remember how he killed him?
I don't.
Because I do.
Do you? Go ahead.
Yes,
how did he die?
Everybody in that room remembers how he died. I can't say the actual description of what happened, but he was hee-hawed.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He was hee-hawed.
I can't wait till Kevin Smith gets the game and looks up the hee-hawed card
and what we did and what Johnny did to him.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's one that you can't say online, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's pretty exciting, man. We created 100 different killers and 100 different victims, and of course we paid homage to all the tropes. I mean, all the tropes that you're ever gonna that you've ever seen are in there. But then that's doing 100 of each. That left a lot of room for us to throw in lots of our own characters that we just kind of made up that I mean, some of them were like, oh, this could be a cool house, or this could be a cool short, or this could be a cool show or a movie. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of, when you play the game, you're kind of tapping into me and Patrick's horror brains a little bit to see some of these characters we came up with and created that were kind of rolling around in our, like you said, our demented horror brains, you know.
Nice. You just go to the website. Go to the website and just look at the preview cards that you can see, because they're hilarious. And definitely make sure you follow the Horror Game on social media, because Jacob has like a time lapse of drawing a couple cards on there, and it's got all kinds of really, really good stuff. And it has a very distinct kind of style to it. Like, it looks like it could be like a 50s, 60s, like a Milbourne's type, like old school card game, but it's just completely evil and amazing.
Yeah, man.
Jacob, did you have a particular inspiration when you were putting the cards together? Like, did you have something like was this off the top of your head, or did you have something you were kind of like, you're like, I want the cards to kind of fit this old school style, or how did that go?
I'm trying to think like what actually jumped out at first. I know that like from right off the bat, I wanted it to look old. So I started with that, and then I kind of worked the style off of that and started looking at old like 1950s UPA animation style. And Tom Oreb was a inspiration. He's an old animator for Disney and stuff. Yeah, we wanted it to look like something you would have found, you know, in your grandpa's attic that had been sitting there for the past 50 years. So we wanted it to kind of reflect that aged, you know, that's the decade. Those are the decades that it came from.
Nice. Well, we have a clip. We've got a clip to show, so let's go ahead and do this. This is going to be a clip of the first couple, I think, group of playtesters. And you will, if you're familiar with Halloween Horror Nights, or you know a bunch of characters, you're going to see a lot of very familiar faces in this, and I just absolutely adore this video. And let's go ahead and take a look. So this is just going to be a couple minutes, and here we go.
Hey guys, welcome. Come on in. Welcome to my.
My favorite part of the game
Yes.
is getting to see the hilarious answers that other people come up with and to laugh with friends.
My favorite part of the game was the variable cards, the things that allow one player to screw over another player. Currently, the Guardian Angels, being able to take that. So yeah, that was my favorite.
Oh, my favorite part of this game, it's just so much fun. It's like a laugh riot. I mean, everybody's in there and they're reading the cards and they're killing people, and it's just fun. It's fun.
Playing the game and coming across a plot twist was one of the most exciting things about playing the game. The game itself is fantastic, but the plot twist adds something. They add just a little bit of spice, like a little bit of chaos in the structure of the game. It's great.
Plot twists are actually my favorite part of the game. Because the game is fun and trying to guess what people are going to go for, but the plot twist make every time the Death Dealer pulls a card exciting. I was almost disappointed when there wasn't a plot twist because they were so fun.
I think the plot twists are great, but they'll get you in a lot of trouble.
Pretty good. Pretty disturbing. A lot of really gruesome stuff in there.
I really like the killers. Yeah, I like the killers because they're really inventive, and again, I think every round is really cool because unlike other card games that are in this mode, the fact there's so much variety that every round isn't the same. It's completely different every single time, and you're getting multiple different cards to be able to play and work with, which is unique to this game, I think.
I think it's the method of the method deck. Yeah, absolutely. Some of those, as you're sitting there thinking about what you want to play, and you read them out loud, you're sitting there giggling to yourself. It's like, oh my God, that's so horrible and irreverent and disgusting and fun.
Scale 1 to 10 to a non-horror fan, 10. All day 10. Like, this game has something for everybody. Even if you're not too fond of horror, like this is a great party game.
I was the only one not to win, but I had a great time. Yes, it was amazing. It is, I feel like, especially with like non-horror fans as well, it's such a niche that's not like often found at all.
No, I just think this is something that's a blast to play. If you know horror, it's going to be even funnier. But I think if you don't know horror, it's still going to be a blast. If you don't know horror, it'll probably gross you out a whole lot.
Oh, the Horror is a great game, but it's more than horror. It's a lot of fun and joy that comes with it too.
I've been itching to play the game again since I got home. I was like, I need to play this game. I need to play this game. I was talking to a couple other people and we're like, we can get together. And once this is out, we're getting together and we're playing this again.
Well, yeah, you'll love it. I recommend it. Buy it.
Hey guys!
I was in the group after that. Sorry about that. This is why I need Melissa here to remind me to unmute myself. But I was in the group after that. I had an amazing time. Every card, you don't want to spoil it. You don't want to look through it. You're excited about not only the cards that you draw, but the cards that other people are playing as well. And I mean, it's going to take a long time to get through those like 400 cards. And it was such a blast. And what I was describing was all the people that were there. A lot of people that are like Halloween Horror Nights celebrities and that type of thing. And then our friend Evian was there, and it was a really, really fun night. And I didn't want to stop playing.
I kind of suggest your way, Johnny, in that like it'd be cool to just kind of play them and see them as they come, because we noticed each session was an hour long, and by the time we got an hour in, they weren't even like a third of the way through the decks. And I thought, oh my gosh, the playability of this thing, because with 400 cards, I mean, you could probably play this thing 3-4 times before you get through every card. And then by the time that you get to that method that you saw 3 or 4 games ago, it's almost like brand new, and you've got two different, a different victim and a different killer you're playing it with. So yeah, I love the idea that you can play this thing over and over and over again, and probably play it 3 or 4 times without ever getting through the deck itself,
Yeah, it's I'm excited. So let's talk about let's rewind the clock a little bit. Let's talk about the Kickstarter, because you guys did a pretty big Kickstarter. I just want to show that up because this is pretty cool. Let's go back to this screen right here. And you did the Kickstarter, fully funded, 410 backers. Awesome. Yeah. So it was really, really cool. So walk me through the experience of running a Kickstarter like this. Like, was it something you were like, oh, did this thing take off pretty quick? Was it a little slow? Did it pick up? Like, what was your original target for the amount to raise?
Yeah, man, we had to learn everything from scratch, because this isn't what, we, just like we said in the beginning, me and Patrick do haunts. You know what I mean? We build Halloween Horror Nights. It's not, doing a card game was a cool idea that we had, and we loved it. We knew it would be great, but we had no idea how to do that, or we had never run a Kickstarter. We had never done anything. So we learned everything from scratch as we went. And Jacob too was a huge part of, because Jacob actually had done some Kickstarters before, because he sells his art and stuff on Kickstarter and goes to cons and things like that. So we tapped his brain for it a little too. But yeah, we just kind of, we created everything from scratch. We tried to learn from people who did a good job or did well with it. And we really just kind of put up that art and put up that idea, and we ran with it. And it started getting traction within the first few days. And probably about a week and a half in, we were realizing that it was going to hit. Our first mark was 15,000 that we wanted to hit. That was our 100% goal. We realized that it was going to be that we were going to hit that goal.
Nice.
And then we started going, well, if we can if we can stretch that, we can probably make this game even cooler. You know what I mean? We can, add a heavier weight to the cards and make the box cooler, and, make the product really neat. And so then we started looking to do that. And that's about the time that we dropped the Kevin Smith thing, video, and it just kind of it exploded from there, and went pretty steady all the way through the very last day. Even the very last day, we had quite a few people, donating. So, which made us go, should we have had it open for 45 days? But it was okay. It was good. We were really happy with the success of it. And the biggest part of it was we just wanted to see if there was interest in this, we love the idea. We thought it would be awesome, but we wanted to see if people would be interested in this from us, and overwhelmingly the people spoke and they said, yeah, this is something we want. And then we got to really getting down and dirty in the creation of the card game, which we also had to learn from scratch. So
yeah, that I think is something special. What Nate just touched on is we wanted to do something, we thought it'd be cool. It's extremely similar, if not exact, to how we went about creating Halloween Horror Nights. Whenever, it wasn't just lip service when we would do interviews and people would say, well, how do you come up with these ideas? And it's just like, well, it's a house that I would want to go see. It's a house that I would want to go experience. It's a story that I obviously would want to have told. And so a game like this it's a game that we all would want to play. And, if you don't find it on the shelf, then go make it yourself. And, to that, we are incredibly humbled and so thankful at the 410 people who backed us on a concept, and only a concept. It wasn't like we had boxes to deliver at that particular moment. I will say now, having gone through the process, because Nate's right, we had to learn everything, not only in Kickstarter, but also card creation and how to go about building a game. I will say that based on experiences that people have had with Kickstarter and whether or not the product is going to come through and whether or not it's going to be of a decent quality, I can tell you right now, unequivocally, now that the game is at the printer and we know exactly what we're going to be getting, this Kickstarter is going to live up and exceed your expectations, and we're extremely excited about that.
Nice.
Oh man, I gotta second that. It's not just going to exceed your it's going to blow people's minds. I promise you. Go ahead, Jacob.
I was just saying, it's so much more than what we put on Kickstarter. Like, it has evolved. Like, it was awesome. What we put on Kickstarter was awesome, but where it is now, it's so amazing.
Yeah, we actually we're about to drop we're a little late because we were pushing so hard to get the game to print, but we're gonna put out our May letter, our update letter, and we're gonna show you the actual retail box now and the actual
cool.
The actual Kickstarter box and the actual pin that people are going to get, and all that stuff's been created and it's at print now. You know what I mean? So we can show it, and it's just going to blow your minds when you get this game. There is nothing like it. Every time I walk in Target or Walmart and I see where the game would go, it'll stand out like crazy. I mean, immediately it'll catch your eye and you'll go, whoa. But yeah, when it comes to I see this all the time on Kickstarters, people go, oh, I back this thing, and they get upset because they never got the product, or they get the product, some flimsy, cheap piece of crap. And that is, we set out to make something awesome. You know what I mean? We didn't set out to become millionaires or anything like that. We set out to make an incredible game. You know what I mean? And so every bit of money that we got from Kickstarter, we put back into the game. We have made $0 right now. I feel pretty confident that this thing's going to take off and it's going to be great. But every bit of money that we made from Kickstarter, we put back into creation of the game and printing the game. And that is 100% truth. So these people are going to get this product and they're going to go, holy shit.
Yay.
I had no idea it was going to look like this and feel like this and be this badass. I'm pretty confident in it now. I don't
know how I could get more excited, but I'm like,
I'm also a big fan of under promising and over delivering. So it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. There's a balance there. We're big on balance on this team. The game is
quote him on that. It's all right.
No. I mean, you ran. What was interesting about the video that we just watched is that, and thank you for playing it. We had a blast game testing, and to both you and Nate's point, there was a lot of people with history and credentials inside the horror realm. From ILO and Charles, but also Blake Braswell and David Hughes and people that we had trusted from, and been part of their team moving through Horror Nights over the last 15 years, and people that are steeped in that genre have an amazing ability to not be able to lie to you. They can smell it if it's not true, if it's not genuine, and it doesn't come from a place of love. And not only did they love the game, but also, to Nate's point, the people who were non-fans, when they were playing the game, they were laughing just as hard, and they were also, they were hooping it up, and also getting really mad at us that we placed an hour time limit on them to play, in the game test.
That was the biggest complaint we got,
Yeah.
and I was like, I was like, what a success is in that. The biggest complaint we got a lot of good feedback, a lot of things that helped us make the game even better. I'm so fortunate for that game test. So many good ideas and so many good suggestions, and we put so much into it from that. But like, the only real complaint, the thing that people kind of were like, I didn't like this, was you didn't let us play long enough. And I was like, oh, that you couldn't hope for a better complaint than that.
So
there's something.
Jacob.
Go ahead. I was just say there's something I wanted to share that I wanted people to know. This wasn't just something that we sat down and put together on weekends and evenings. Like, we got laid off like in November. This has been our full-time job for the past 6 months, and more than a full-time job. We have put in somewhere between 40 and 60 hours a week since like December. Like, this has been our lives, and we have put everything into this game. I mean, like, literally everything. It's not just something we did for fun. It's something that we truly believe in, and that we truly have put our all into.
Nice. Oh, what I was going to say is speaking of, you used the word evolve a little bit earlier. Was there anything between the playtesting? Actually, I want to split this into two questions. Was there anything that happened between the playtesting and sending it off to print that changed with the game?
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah.
well, I mean, if you're talking art-wise, all of the art, and so, by the way, this is important to know too. We're creating a new website right now. We're having it created that is going to drop before the game drops. End of July, August. But this is it's gonna have everything updated, because to like the art on the actual card, which changed because I've been trying to put this stuff in updates and show some of these updated artwork and stuff like that. If you're on our hit list or you're on the Kickstarter, things like that. But yeah, from like the actual art on the card to the logo to the art on the box to the instruction sheet to what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Every single thing has been tweaked and changed a little bit. And when it comes to what we learned in game testing, it really came to a lot of rules, that we hadn't thought about. What if this happens, then that, and what if this, then that. Excuse me. So that kind of evolved our gameplay. Like I say, the rule sheet changed a lot. And one big thing, probably the biggest thing that changed from, if we're talking about just straight from gameplay and the game testing, is the amount of plot twist cards. Because we only had 2 plot twist cards in the games, aside from the Death Itself and the Guardian Angels, which were already in there. We didn't have these cards that were called plot twists that literally on the card tell you something to do and you have to do it. And people just love those plot twist cards, which you actually hear in the interviews and stuff there. And so we put 12 more plot twist cards into the deck to really kind of change up the gameplay and make it a little more interesting, a little more exciting. So that was another big thing. But I mean, there isn't anything that's on that Kickstarter or on that old website that's completely the same as what it is now. And that comes from 40 to 60 hours a week of working on this thing and making it better. every week, for the past 6-7 months. So
nice. The other question I wanted to ask on top of that is, did anything end up on the cutting room floor? Like, was there just a card that was just like, all right, this is too much? Or any ideas that maybe you're like, no, we can't go that deep?
Everything Patrick texted us at 1 a.m. Yeah, there was a lot of them.
That'll be its own expansion pack in the future.
Actually, we do have plans for the expansion pack called "Oh, You're Gonna Hate This Deck."
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, there, and thank God for Jacob and Nate to pull me back on the other side of that line, and when I decided to go tap dancing on the other side of it, yeah, there's, it falls in line with the fact that when we, our history is to always create a brand new event year over year, and so to create an established base deck is great. That's like the event. And now we have the opportunity to create brand new experiences that are rooted in that particular universe, if you will. And we get the opportunity to play, and we get the opportunity to take the game in different places. And it's going to be up to the gamers as to whether or not they want to take it to that place. So the expansions that will be coming down the line eventually, there's almost a limitless number of those as well. It really is a matter of us just deciding as fans of the genre where we want the horror to go. And I can't wait for everybody to have the opportunity to play. We're really, really excited. I wanted to make sure before we left to let you know that what we've done is we've set up a discount code for everyone watching this.
Ooh.
If you go to the website and you type in HauntScene as a discount code, you get 10% off your set.
God, I've got a discount code.
Yeah. So and what we'll do is we'll keep that going until, I don't know, we'll keep it, let's say a week and a half. Okay. And so if you go to the website, type in HauntScene, it's basically your little insider thing to save a couple of bucks on the game. That being said, this game, we're so excited for it to come out, and we're literally days away from getting the proof from the printer, and I can't wait for us to unbox it and just take a look at it and rifle through it ourselves to see it in full flesh and bone.
Nice. And hopefully we can arrange a playtest here in the studio, so I'm looking forward to that. Because it's always nice to see you guys, but I just want to play the game again. So
you know what, Johnny,
you can leave the deck here too.
Johnny, I was thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? Are we gonna have to take some things out of the deck? Because I don't know how many of those cards we can say online and be able to stare at anywhere.
I will preface the episode that it's for adults. I mean, this show is for adults. It's not made for kids. So we check that box on YouTube. I'm not too worried about it. I guess. Yeah.
Because there is
we could demonetize you pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's the second expansion. Demonetized.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Challenge accepted.
Oh no. Well, it's hard. You can't really get demonetized if you aren't monetized. So it's kind of like that guy, It's like, so yeah, that's awesome. So I know that the plan is this fall that you're going to be making some appearances. You'll have product. And did you want to talk about that a little bit? Because I know you plan on attending maybe some horror conventions.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm not holding it to you, but I would imagine you want to be,
Actually, we're going to be the first con that we can confirm that we are going to be at is MegaCon.
Oh, cool.
We are actually doing a horror panel at MegaCon, Patrick and myself. There'll be one a day. And we're basically just giving a panel on what it was like to create horror, all these years, answering some questions about that, and then talking about creating the horror, the game. And we're going to have a big booth, like a 20 by 20 booth there, where there's going to be a bunch of tables and stuff where you can come and actually play the game.
Oh, that's cool.
And see if you like it. And if you play the game and see if you like it, then there'll be a game there to grab and buy. So yeah, that's the first one that we're definitely going to be at. We're going to go all out for that one and have a pretty big presence there. We got some surprise things, but I don't want to ruin any of those. Okay. But if you're going to be at MegaCon, you're going to want to stop by the other horror booth because we're going to have some pretty cool shit going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that not to spoil anything, but I know that that the idea's been thrown around of maybe having event specific cards. Maybe like you go to a certain place at a certain time, maybe get an extra killer or something like that. I know that's been kicked around a little bit.
Yeah, we've thought about that. We've thought that through, and it's something we definitely want to do. We have to see what it's like. Again, we're doing all this for the first time, right? So we got to see what it's like to actually get the regular game sets here and how long that takes. And everything when the game is going to drop is out of our hands now, and it's all estimations. And so it's hard to know when that's going to drop. So at the same time, it's hard to go, okay, well, now we want to make a card that's going to drop during Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
We won't know how to do that kind of stuff until we get the first game sets. So that's absolutely something we plan on attempting to do even this season, at being at some haunts and having specific cards for them and things like that. So that's definitely something that's in the works.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, so I know we've got a lot of people watching, and maybe you're not watching the show live. Maybe you're listening to the podcast version of this or watching the replay version of this. For those of you that are going to watch the show, what would you like to say to all the fans of the game or the people that are interested in the game? How is it best to get the word out about the Horror card game?
Oh, so here's what you're going to want to do. You're either going to want to go to ohthehorrorgame.com and you're going to want to pre-order your set. After you pre-order your set,
after that,
using
promo code HauntScene.
Using promo code HauntScene, you're going to immediately want to take to the social channels. You're going to want to take to Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, of which we're all a part of. And you're going to want to blast it out that you got your set and nobody else has. And you're going to want to get it out there that nana boo boo, your set's in the mail, and you're going to rock that set and have so much fun with your friends. And if you don't get it, you're going to be left out in the cold. On Instagram, we are on _the_horror_game. On Twitter, we're at the horror game. And on Facebook, there is a page. It's the the Horror Game page. We're also branching out, and we're going to be doing a YouTube channel where you're going to find some goodies on there eventually. And really, it's going to be a matter of people once they see the game and once they purchase the game and they start getting updates from us to figure out more about it. And as it gets closer to our official launch, they're going to start to get really, really excited and want people to share it with. And now that we're in a time period where things seem to be getting better and things seem to be easing up, they're going to want to get together with their friends and they're going to want to experience this game, because to that point that was made in the video earlier, yeah, it's a horror game, but it's just a really good party game. It's a lot of fun for people to get together, and after the year and a half of all of the craziness that we've all experienced, it's time to laugh and it's time to have fun with your friends.
Yeah, well said. All right, last question. It's 5 years from now, and in one statement, and I'm going to get this from everybody. One statement. What do you foresee? Blue sky, because Patrick taught me that phrase. Blue sky. What do you see as the future of the Horror Game? Blue sky. Go ahead, Patrick. Go first. You're on screen already.
5 years from now?
Yeah, 5 years from now. It's 2026.
It's broken out into 3 phases. One, there is the game with it also a digital component. And then we also have simultaneously running extremely adult horror films based on some of the characters in the game, as well as an adult animated series that is running on some of the lighter fare.
Nice. Jacob, 5 years from now.
5-year plan. My mortgage is paid off.
That's good.
That's the first thing. We have already started throwing around other game ideas, so it's not just going to be the Horror, because we are the Media is our umbrella company. So I'm super excited about developing new games with these guys, and I hope 5 years down the road that we have at least half a dozen games out by then.
Oh, very nice. Nate, 5 years from now.
Yeah, what both those guys said, certainly, right? I mean, and the reason that my answer is similar to theirs is because we've already talked about these things. We have whiteboards full of ideas and where we're going to go in the next 5 years. You can believe that's how we plan. But yes, certainly my mortgage is well paid off. That's a 1 year plan. And anyway, but yeah, when it comes to the game, I definitely can see this having a streaming component where there's some sort of adult cartoon, or adult anime that's online with our characters, and maybe some actually cool adult films, things like that are made based on these characters.
Saying adult films.
Time out. Rated R horror movies starring our characters.
I mean, you never know. They do make adult films based on horror. So.
Wait a minute. You guys didn't mean adult films this whole time? I thought we were making adult films.
Hey, that was a great interview, guys.
This ain't the Valley.
I mean, we can have adult films and adult films.
No, but yes, we want to make we want to expand these characters. We don't want them to just be in the game, and we're going to have all different ways of expanding them. And my big thing is walking into pretty much any store that sells games, be it a Target, be it a Walmart, be it any small comic book shop, like anywhere that sells cool cutting edge games. I want to look up and see, the horror on the shelf, and basically have a huge box that also has about 20 expansion packs in there that you can get. That would be what the horror looks like to me in 5 years. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
And I do believe that by then we'll also have a few more games out there that people are going to be enjoying as well. So
very cool. That's awesome. Well, it's that time, everybody. So we're gonna go around one more time. Just any special shout outs that you want to give to anybody out there for any reason, anything you want to leave our audience with. Go ahead, Nate. Go ahead and start that off.
Well, I mean, I want to always shout out to our Kickstarter backers, because those folks are what made this dream possible. Those folks are what made this entire thing possible. We would not be here without them. Shout out to all the people that have taken a chance and pre-ordered the game, and all the people that continue to pre-order the game. A shout out to you, Johnny, because all the way along the way, you have been here, supporting us, promoting us, getting the word out. Now that's just because you understand awesome, badass horror, and you're like, this is going to be awesome and badass. But we really appreciate you and what you do for us. That's my shout outs.
Awesome. And Patrick?
Oh, I mean, I gotta second everything that Nate said. I think that, if we're nothing without the Kickstarter backers believing in that concept and allowing us the opportunity to develop it fully. I think that we also have to give a huge shout out to our families who, during this particular time, have patiently understood that this takes time and a commitment to it in order for it to be successful. And so I just want to give a big, huge shout out to our families and say thank you.
Awesome. And Jacob?
I want to give a shout out to Patrick's mom. Just because, because she backed us, because she's a killer. She backed us like Kickstarter is a killer.
Yo,
she is.
That's awesome.
First, my mom is a killer, and my mom happens to be a killer in the game.
Oh, that's so cool.
so it works out for everybody.
Nice. Yeah, I know.
No, yeah.
Go ahead.
It is something special that the Kickstarter backers in particular who gave a little bit more, they ended up as killers and victims in our deck, and that is going to stay in the game for the life of the game. So that is something special that I'll always have as a remembrance as I flip through the deck, that family has become a part of the game as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Jacob, my mom says hi.
Oh, good.
Don't kill me. Awesome. Well, thank you all for being on the show again. I know this will be the first of many episodes, because I definitely want to check in with you and your progress. As many times as we can. Like I said, as soon as we have the opportunity to all sit down, I think we're all vaccinated now. We can we can have an actual play test in person in the studio here. That'll be a really, really good time. Really looking forward to that. And I can't wait to see what happens with the game. So I'm I'm very proud of you guys for kicking ass with your Kickstarter. And it's like you can see the finish line. Like the finish line's like it's a little off in the distance, but it's you guys will get there sooner rather than later. So, and thank you for being on the show because that's awesome.
Thanks so much, Johnny.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Johnny, for having us, man. We appreciate you, man.
Anything I could never do to help you out, that's what we do. Awesome. Okay, well, hang out on Zoom just for a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and wrap my show up, and then I'll be right back with you, okay?
You got it, brother.
Awesome.
All right.
What was that?
Thanks, everybody.
I literally hit mute as you were hitting that. Okay, awesome. All right, here we go. Such an awesome show. I cannot stress enough how awesome this game is. Even if I didn't know and love them like I do, just the game itself, I've never ever in the first sit down of a game had so much fun playing, and then like Nate said, the worst part about it was only having that little limited time frame to play. So once I get my own deck, all of you are interested to come over, all of you are interested, but you're invited to come over, have a play test with us. We'll probably do several, we might just do random streams where we're playing the game. So that'll be a really, really good time. So thank you everybody for watching. I do have a couple other announcements here. One, obviously, Maximus Christian Bind is awesome. Got to say that again. And so we do have a show next week, but the show is not going to be on Tuesday. The show will actually be 1 week from tonight. We are going to have a legendary pickle on the show. And if you know what the legendary pickle is going to be Mr. Leonard Pickle, who is a haunt designer, runs his own haunt consulting, entrepreneurs business. So Thursday, June 10th, 8 o'clock, same bat time, and everything on our YouTube channel. Make sure that you like and subscribe this video if you liked it. Please follow us on social media. I do want to give a shout out to our Patreon supporters. Thank you to Raven Armstrong and John Sebastian Lavelle. We do appreciate that. Everything that you ever donate to support the show goes 100% back into the show, because we got bills. So we do appreciate that very, very much. You can support us at patreon.com/HauntScene. And we're on all the social media. So follow us on everything. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, OnlyFans, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, LinkedIn, whatever. Just go there, email us, subscribe to us. Please listen to the podcast, all that good stuff. And that's going to be it for this show. So thank you so much for watching again. I really appreciate everybody that takes time to watch the show. And that's going to be it for this week. So until next time, spook easy, happy haunting, and we'll see you at the next show. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Give me some treats.